I never believed that a man could serve faithfully in church for over 30 years, only to end his journey in the flames of hell. But what I witnessed shattered everything I thought I knew about salvation and eternity. This is not a story about a stranger. This is about a respected elder, a man people looked up to, a man who prayed loudly, preached forgiveness with his lips, but secretly chained himself to bitterness and grudges. And when death came suddenly, the truth was revealed in a terrifying way. I share this testimony not to entertain you, but to warn you. What I saw shook me to my very core, and I pray you will listen carefully until the end, because this could be the very message that saves your soul. My name is Samuel. I was born in 1965 in a small village where church bells rang every Sunday morning, and where every child was taught the fear of God before they learned how to write their names. My parents were devout Christians, and from my teenage years, I was always close to the altar, always in the service of God. Over time, people began to call me Elder Samuel. To many, I was a pillar in the church. To outsiders, I was a man of prayer and discipline. But what they never saw was the storm that brewed inside my heart. I served in choir, led Bible studies, chaired committees, and even became one of the trusted hands of the pastor. People came to me for counsel, for prayers, for encouragement. Yet, behind the public face of holiness was a man who carried grudges like chains wrapped tightly around his soul. It all began many years ago. I had a close friend in church, another elder, who betrayed me. He spread lies about me to the pastor, lies that nearly ruined my reputation. I smiled in his presence and shook his hand during service, but deep inside, I vowed never to forgive him. I nursed that pain, fed it, and let it grow into a bitterness that hardened my heart. The years passed, and the wounds multiplied. My younger brother cheated me in an inheritance matter after our father's death. My own wife once humiliated me before my children during a family dispute. Each time, I chose silence on the outside, but on the inside, I made a secret decision. I will never forgive you. I still prayed. I still fasted. I still cast out demons in Jesus' name. I still sang hymns about love and mercy. But every time I recited the Lord's Prayer, "Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us," my lips moved while my heart remained stone. Did I believe in hell? Yes, I did. I preached about it many times. But I believed my service in the church was my shield. I thought my fasting, my giving, my standing as an elder was enough to outweigh the grudges buried in my chest. I used to tell myself, God understands my pain. Surely he knows why I cannot forgive them. But that is the dangerous lie I lived with for decades. Whenever the pastor preached on forgiveness, I nodded along with everyone else, but my heart whispered, if only he knew what they did to me. I thought I could carry bitterness into heaven, as long as I carried a Bible under my arm. I thought my good works would silence my silent hatred. Little did I know that unforgiveness was a chain, not just tying me to the people who hurt me, but tying me straight to the gates of hell. And then, one night in 2017, everything changed. It was the night of July 14th, 2017. I remember because it was the day after our midweek service. I had gone to bed, feeling uneasy, a sharp pain gnawing at my chest. I told myself it was just fatigue, maybe indigestion, but by midnight, the pain became unbearable. I clutched my chest, gasping for air, as my wife rushed to my side, screaming for help. My children tried calling an ambulance, but before help could come, my world went black. At first, I thought I had fainted, but then I realized something terrifying. I could still hear my wife's cries. I could see my own body lying lifeless on the bed, my children shaking me, trying to wake me. Panic gripped me. I shouted, but no one heard me. My voice echoed like it was swallowed by emptiness. Suddenly I felt a force, cold, heavy and terrifying, pulling me downward. It was as if invisible chains had hooked into my very soul. I fought to resist, but my strength was gone. I was dragged through a darkness thicker than anything I had ever known. No stars, no light, no end. just endless black, and then came the sounds. At first, faint cries, then loud wails, then screams so piercing, they seemed to cut through my very being. I covered my ears, but the cries grew louder, mingling with groans, curses, and the gnashing of teeth. The stench hit me next, sulfur, burning flesh, and something rotten beyond description. My stomach turned, but there was no escape. A dim red glow appeared ahead, and as I drew closer, I saw what I never believed I would see. A vast pit of fire, flames leaping higher than mountains, consuming countless souls. They burned but did not die. Their skin melted, yet they remained alive, screaming for mercy that never came. Demons, hideous, deformed with twisted wings and eyes like burning coals, tormented them with chains and spears, mocking their cries. Then the horror struck me deeper. Among the burning souls, I began to recognize faces, elders, pastors, church workers I had once served with. Men and women who had led prayers, sung hymns, preached sermons. Now they screamed as demons tore at them. One of them, a former elder I once admired, stretched his charred hand toward me, and cried, "Samuel, don't come here. Don't make the mistake I made. We served God in public, but in secret we carried hate, envy, and unforgiveness, and now this is our reward." His voice faded into a shriek, as a demon dragged him deeper into the flames. I trembled. I screamed, "Lord, no, I served you. I prayed. I fasted." But even as I cried out, a thunderous voice roared from the pit. "You forgave with your lips, but not with your heart. You preached mercy, but you refused to show it. You held bitterness tighter than my word. How then can you claim to belong to me?" The ground beneath me cracked open, and I felt myself slipping toward the same fiery pit. Demons laughed, tugging at the chains around me. The heat was unbearable. My soul shook with terror. I thought, this is the end. This is how I perish. But just as I was about to fall completely into the fire, something happened that I will never forget for all eternity. Just when the fire roared to swallow me whole, a blinding light pierced the darkness. It was not like the dim flames of the pit. This light was pure, radiant, and living. The demons screeched and recoiled, hissing like snakes, pulling back their claws, as though the light burned them. I lifted my eyes, trembling, and there he was. Jesus. I cannot fully describe him, for human language fails. His face shone brighter than the sun, yet I could look at him without going blind. His eyes were fire and mercy at the same time, cutting through me until every hidden thought, every secret grudge, every hardened place in my heart lay bare before him. I fell to my knees, weeping, "Lord, have mercy, don't let me perish here." For a long moment he said nothing. Tears streamed down my face as I begged. Then his voice, deep, tender, and yet filled with grief, echoed through the darkness. "Samuel, you cannot enter my kingdom with unforgiveness in your heart." Those words pierced me deeper than any sword. Every memory of bitterness, every vow I made to never forgive, every time I smiled at those who hurt me while secretly hating them, all of it flashed before me like a burning mirror. I shook violently, sobbing, "But Lord, I served you. I worked in your vineyard." His voice thundered again, yet full of sorrow. "Service without forgiveness is empty. Works without love are dead. Did I not forgive you freely, and yet you chose chains over mercy?" I had no defense. The truth stripped me bare. But then his tone shifted. The fire of his judgment gave way to the warmth of his mercy. He reached out his hand, and the light of his presence pushed back the pit of hell that gaped beneath me. The chains that the demons clung to snapped like brittle threads. "Your time has not yet come," he said. "I am giving you mercy, but not for your sake alone. You will return, and you will tell my people that unforgiveness is a highway to hell. Many worship me with their lips, but their hearts are filled with bitterness. Go back, Samuel. Warn them. Tell them I am coming soon, and only those who forgive as I forgave will enter my kingdom." As he spoke, I felt an overwhelming wave of love, fierce, holy, unexplainable. It washed over me. lifting me from the edge of the abyss. My weeping turned into uncontrollable trembling. Then he stretched his hand toward me, and his final words echoed like thunder in eternity. Go back, and do not return with the same heart. The light engulfed me completely. The screams of hell faded into silence. My body jolted violently, and in the next instant, I opened my eyes to see doctors and my family hovering over me. I was alive. When I opened my eyes in the hospital bed, I was drenched in sweat, my body trembling like a leaf in the wind. The doctors called it a miracle that I survived a cardiac arrest, but I knew it was not medicine that pulled me back. It was mercy. From that very moment, I was no longer the same man. I could not stop weeping. For hours I cried, not because of the pain in my chest, but because of the filth I carried in my heart for so many years. The faces of those I refused to forgive haunted me. I whispered, Lord, I will obey, I will forgive, I will not go back to that pit. The first thing I did after leaving the hospital was call my younger brother, with tears streaming down my face. I begged him to forgive me for my bitterness, and promised to release him from every grudge. I sat with my wife, and confessed the silent anger I had buried against her. One by one, I sought out everyone I had secretly resented, reconciling, humbling myself, washing away the poison I had carried. I stopped boasting about my years of service in church. Titles no longer mattered to me. What mattered was my heart. Was it clean before God? Was it free from hate? I began to preach forgiveness everywhere I went, not as a lesson from books, but as a man who had seen the flames of eternity. I no longer see people the same way. Every soul is precious. Every wound is an opportunity to forgive. And every day, I wake up with one prayer. Lord, keep my heart pure, that I may never return to that place again. My beloved brothers and sisters, I stand as a living witness. Hell is real, and unforgiveness is a chain that drags even church leaders into its fire. Do not be deceived. Your prayers, your fasting, your titles will not save you if your heart is poisoned with bitterness. I heard the Lord say, you cannot enter my kingdom with unforgiveness in your heart. Those words still echo in me. Forgiveness is not a suggestion. It is a command. Release that person today, no matter how deeply they hurt you. Your eternity depends on it. Please share your thoughts in the comments and tell us, where are you watching from? Your words might encourage someone else to take forgiveness seriously today. Thank you for listening to this testimony. May the Lord keep you safe, pure, and ready for His coming. Until next time, stay watchful, stay ready.